Okay, 1993 GMC Safari short wheelbase van. It's only got about 118,000 or 115,000 or something right around there kilometers on it. Very low, very clean, no rust. Just very minor accident damage on the back. We already have a new bumper for it. Doesn't even look like the frame is bent or anything. I just need to straighten out the bracket on the one side a little bit and adjust it and put a new bumper on it. You know, a couple little dents and dings here for its age. It's fairly good shape. Original paint, other than the back doors and a blend on the other side, I think, from when they did the back doors. 4.3 liter V6 VIN code Z TBI. I like the TBI better than the multi-point injection or the spider injection. They were always faulty and leaking and stuff like that. But that being said, I've had a couple issues with this one, but I think it's just from it sitting. The right injector was hardly spraying at all, so I just replaced both injectors, cleaned and rebuilt the throttle body, put new plugs and wires in it. I'll put a new air filter on it when I reassemble that, and that should take care of it, get it running good again. We got to put part of an exhaust system on it. I see the muffler's rotted out. The tailpipe's rotted out just behind the muffler, and the catalytic converter's got a bit of a rattle, so straighten that out. The rotors look pretty good. I think the pads were just replaced. However, a rookie did them. I'll show you the other side in a sec. And there you can see the new plug wires. Now, on these vans, they can be a bit of a pain to do the plugs. But if you take that rubber guard out there, you have a fairly straight shot to all three plugs. The back one a little bit of a universal joint to get to. I actually found doing the wires the most difficult part of the whole project today. Cutting the throttle body off is no big deal through the doghouse. Driver's side's a little bit of a meander to get around to some of the plugs, but they're doable from this side with the rubber guard removed. Also, the ABS light wasn't on at all, but it wasn't even coming on in key on, but the brake light was on. So I thought that was strange, and I thought it should have ABS brakes, and found out that somebody unplugged the ABS module. You can see it sitting there. That's the barcode for it. And you can see the top side of the plug that somebody unplugged there. So I plugged that back in, got an ABS light, read the codes. On these older vans, you don't need a scanner. All you need to do is just jump terminal A to H on the OBD1 port, the ignition key on, and it will flash the a certain number of times, like 1 flash, pause, 2 flash. That's a standard code 12. That's a handshake. Then it'll flash any codes that you have. And I believe it was a code 25. Don't quote me on that. I think it was left front wheel speed sensor circuit, and there was a brake in the wire right around there. So I pulled the rotor caliper off and put a new splash shield on there, which includes the ABS sensor, and the ABS light went out. But when the rookie that owned this van before did the brakes on it, he actually assembled the inboard pad on the wrong side of the slider bolt and jammed it kind of in there and wore it funny. So I'm going to put new pads on it. They're sitting there in my pile of parts to put back in. I replaced the fuel filter as well. That was a pain. I guess it had never been done, but everything was so nice and tight and new under this van here. I can see if you can see underneath here. It's really good shape, but it was just a pain to get the lines were taped together from the factory. I had to cut them to get some slack. But I mean, it is really clean under here. Like, I can't even believe how nice this van is. Like, look at the oil pan. It's still black. No grease. There's a small coolant leak coming from the engine mount right there. And you can see that little wet spot. I don't understand where that's coming from. Maybe from the thermostat housing up top. It's a little wet up around there. Gas tank. Big gas tank. This looks to be in good shape. So that's the catalytic converter there. That shield is rattling a bit. The muffler itself is in okay shape, I think. It's just rotted right on the tailpipe, so I don't know if I can get away with a new tailpipe and a new catch and having to reassemble it, although it is leaking right there. So it's got a couple leaks. The running board's got lights in it, which is kind of cool. They're not all working at the moment. I don't know why. It's an aftermarket thing. Maybe the wire's pulled out or needs new bulbs or what. The interior in this thing is just immaculate. An old guy had this van. He was a second owner, but he obviously took really good care of it. Well, my trouble light's kind of snagged. So hopefully this will get it running good. It had a pretty good hesitation off the line, and no wonder with the one injector not really working. So here you can see all of my new plug wires. I put a new cap and rotor on it as well. I cleaned up the pickup coil where it mounts to the distributor base. A little bit rusty, cleaned that up, silicone greased underneath. There you can see my nice clean rebuilt throttle body. Replaced both the TBI injectors. I got the plug wires all down there nice and neat. It's funny with the doghouse off on these. Yeah, that's... Somebody put an aftermarket radio in here, which seems to work good. Oh. Hope you can see much. Not to do a better shot of the interior in the daytime, but it's really nice, really good. The headliner doesn't fall down. There's no real scrapes or rips or tears or never smoked in or anything like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and fire it up. The dog hose off, and you can actually see the TBI injector spray. I had to weld up the transmission tube bracket where it goes to the top of the intake manifold. It was broken, that's why the welder's out. Ooh. So I got to replace the ignition tumbler because the top side of it is broken. So you can actually check the spray pattern on here with them running. It's kind of cool. Oop, my light fell down. See if I can pick up the throttle a little bit. See a bit of a mushroom. That's what it should look like. Before it was only just sputtering out the center. So that's good. Oh! Bloody hell. It's got a nice instrument cluster on here. Doesn't have the stupid half moon gauges. Good oil pressure. Only 100, well, it's 112,000, even lower than what I said. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty incredible for a 93. AC works, blows nice and cold. It has tilt and cruise, but just manual crank windows, which is probably better on these because they've been a little problematic. And manual door locks too. The motor sounds good. I hope the hesitation's gone. That's the cruise module, distributor, and they have a separate coil actually on these. You can see it right there. That's the IAC stepper motor, throttle position sensor in front of it. Two fuel lines, smaller one is supply, larger one is return.